back to our second episode of Fran and Friends. I guess that's pretty much what we're calling it. So today I have a very special guest, my best friend for forever. I think, what, 5-6 years now?
More, I think.
More than that. I pretty much stalked her into being my best friend. You know, when you know. And I made her be my best friend. So we're here 6-7 years later, and I think she has a great story to tell, and we're just kind of...
So my name is Isel, and I am Mexican. This is what I tell everybody all the time when I meet them. I was born and raised in Mexico.
Let's see.
And I came here when I was 10 years old. I just recently turned 30. So it's been about 20 years. That's how I put it to people all the time when I meet someone. You know, this is my story to the people. So everybody can get to know who I am, you know. But I came here when I was 10. I came as an immigrant, like real ass immigrant, you know, when they say wetbags and, you know, beaners and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you consider yourself an actual beaner? You don't get offended by the term or anything like that?
No, it doesn't do anything to me. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Never been offended by it. So yeah, I came here. I'm currently now I have my daca, which is the deferred action of childhood arrival, which is
and I don't mean to cut you off. So let's start from the very beginning. How did you come to the United States? How old were you when you first came to the United States? And
so I was 10 years old,
and you were, for the first 10 years of your life, who were you raised by?
I was raised by my grandparents, my grandma and my grandpa on my mom's side.
Why?
And because my mother and my dad decided to immigrate from Mexico to the United States, and so we were in the care of, you know, my mom's. They used to live with my mom's dad and mom and her sisters. So that's how I lived. That's how I got raised by my aunts, you know, from the ages of like, I would call like maybe 6 or 7 to the age of 10. So it's just a few years that my parents left us.
3-4 years.
Yeah. So
then they left you because, you know, they thought it was the
better
best thing
opportunity
for you.
at that time. Yeah. So they made it in. I mean, they were just, you know, a back and forth from Mexico to USA, like not very often.
So they came back and forth for a while. How?
Like twice. So jumping the border.
Oh, they did that a couple of times.
Like, well, my dad did it. My dad did it more than 3 times. My mom only did it like twice. She went back to Mexico to visit and then came right back.
Well, I'm assuming too it was the 90s, so it wasn't as scary.
Yeah, it was the 90s. You know. It was the freshly. I came here in the 2000s when the whole Twin Tower happened. So that's another whole. Wow. Yeah. So when the Twin Towers happened,
security was tight.
Yeah, they shut up all the border and said we don't want what they called us terrorists at that time, because the terrorists were like coming in from Mexico, and so they shut the whole thing down. But when I came here with a fake passport. So there was.
You want to incriminate yourself? Okay, cool.
Well, I mean,
we're telling the story. Why not?
20 years ago. So if anybody wants to like, you know.
Yeah. So okay. So how did you cross the border? How old were you when you crossed the border?
So I was 10 years old, and my grandpa, did we fly or I think a bus or something? No, I think we flew. So we flew from Veracruz, like Mexico? My city, where you're raised from, where you are. We flew from there to Tijuana.
Okay.
In Tijuana, we had an aunt, and my parents from here, they had paid a coyote, you know.
A coyote, yeah. What is it for people who don't know?
So people who don't know is people just like to have. Back in the days, it was more popular than now, which is still a term, but people who use fake passports people's passports from the United States.
Basically, people that smuggle.
Oh, smuggle too. It doesn't have to be just necessarily like, you know, visas or anything like that, but they also smuggle like.
Anybody who would smuggle you into a country, regardless of being, you know, by papers, illegal paperwork, just helping you cross the border, whatever it is, paying off other people.
So yeah, so my parents hired someone to do that. It was thousands of dollars, like
thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars, and my parents worked their butts off. So
here. Now, were your brother and sister, did you all 3 travel the same? Because there was 3 of you guys.
So the very last time that my dad and my mom came, my brother did come along with them.
And he was older?
No, my brother's the youngest. I'm the middle child, and then my sister, which is like, we're a year and a half apart.
Was your sister the last one to come, or?
No, so my brother came with my parents one time in the bus and through like swimming the river and all that.
Oh wow, he actually swam. That's so scary. How old was he?
He was very little. He was like,
that's so traumatizing. Like
3, like, he was like very young.
And people don't understand. Like people will do anything to get into this country.
Oh yeah.
just for the opportunity to be able to work and actually make a living wage.
And you basically, like everybody knows here, you kind of like work to pay off everything around here, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're freely living. Like there, you freely live. Like you have your house, you don't pay taxes, rent, nothing. Water's free and electricity is free, and you know.
I think people, especially many Americans, unfortunately think that by having immigrants come into this country, they think that because immigrants come here into the United States, they're living the dream, or you know, they're living their best life and they're not working and they're living off of food stamps or help.
And people, I remember to this day, people like they're like, if your neighbor doesn't have food, like you help them out. You know
and I understand that the quality of living here is so much better than the quality of living there. I'm not excusing that. However, I am saying that if you are not able to pay your rent here in America, your ass is gonna get evicted and you'll be on the street.
Under the bridge.
Under the bridge. I mean, there's some kind of like places that will help you, but they're very limited. Where
and it's a slow process.
Exactly. And you know, I've had friends that have been through evictions, and you lose your job, you lose everything here.
Literally.
Where we're from.
I remember, so part of this whole situation is for me to tell your audience, you know, like it's not so easy, you know what I mean? But when so there was a time where my daca, my permit, my work permit got expired and I had to renew it. They renewed for 2 years. So when I tried to renew it, they took like, I want to say 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So I had 3 jobs at that time.
And you lost all three jobs.
Yeah.
And that alone can be the difference between someone being able to stay here, or if you don't have any family here, you got to go back to your country.
I mean, there's no zero. Yeah, I mean, some people try to make it as much as possible, and you
working,
try,
you know, under the, you know.
But it's just so much stress, you know, because even, you know, McDonald's, you know, paying the hours and
wage.
and the hours they give you, you know, it's like they just you know, here the people are just trying to make their business better. They're not about literally really caring for you. Like,
and that's what I was saying too. Like in our countries, yeah, the quality of life compared to here is much better in the United States. But again, you don't have to pay for housing. You don't have to pay for this. You don't have to pay for that. At least where I'm from, everybody's different. Colombia is different than Cuba and Mexico, and this is
so it's different.
And you always have your family. You always have your family to back you up and help you out if you need anything. Yes, it's hard. It's a struggle, but you have to hustle. But sometimes, yeah.
So yeah, my parents, you know, my brother came with them, along with them when they actually swam across the river. And then when I turned 10 and my sister was 11, my parents I mean, we had the choice, but at that time, all you want is your parents, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so what choice do you really have at 10 years old?
Well, my mom and my dad, they said, you know, you have the choice, you can stay there. Obviously, why would I want to stay where my mom is not at, you know? Yeah. So they told me, they said, you either stay there or you can come with us. Right. So obviously at that time, me and my sister were like, okay. So then I remember the very last time that I left Mexico, like they threw a whole party and my aunts were like very sad, and you know, because they, you know, they knew that coming here is just, you know, a whole different, you know. Like,
they didn't know when they were going to see you again, if they were going to see you again, how that works.
So it was a hard process. Like it was really, like, I do have it was so like, it touched my heart so much. The fact I still remember like details from like that time before leaving. Yeah.
So you took a plane from one city of Mexico.
Yeah, Tijuana. We this is not how we crossed. Okay. Not by plane. Oh yeah, from Veracruz to Tijuana,
Mexico.
Yep, and then from Tijuana,
Is Tijuana like dangerous?
Yeah, very dangerous.
So then Tijuana, and then where?
Tijuana, then in Tijuana, this lady came and picked me up from a restaurant. And I remember my grandma. She just
picked you up from a restaurant? Yeah. Like, hey, let's go.
Like, hey, I'm here. Like you know, we're going to go with, yeah. So, you know, God only knows if, you know, nowadays that they actually do that, like kidnap you.
Yeah, because they don't know. Your grandmother, I mean, they have to put so much trust on a person that they don't know, because they don't know. Right.
If it's to rape us or to
kidnap you, sell your organs, they don't know.
So, you know, and then, so from there, at the restaurant, the lady came, picked me up, and she talked to me and told me, all you need to do is sleep. Just go to sleep.
Okay.
And then I'll wake you up when we're on the other side. I was nervous. Respectful. Yeah, I was very nervous. Okay. I was very, very nervous.
Did you help me to sleep or anything or no?
No. And then she told me, she's like, and if they ask, like I just recall they say if they ask your these person, but I didn't have to memorize nothing. Like it was just like I didn't even know any background on the passport. Nothing.
You didn't know what was going on.
Nothing. They said go to sleep.
You're a kid. You're 10 years old.
Wait, go to sleep. We'll wake you up on the other side. So we went to sleep, or me myself, I went to sleep, and then next thing you know, she woke me up on the other side. You need to use the bathroom, no. And then from there we went to her house. So I even stayed at her house. She had a
the house in Mexico.
No, already in the United States. I had already crossed.
How did they cross? Through the border? You just
through the border.
You didn't have to swim through a river. You didn't have to.
No. So I just it was a truck, and they told me to go to sleep. Just said go to sleep. We'll wake you up when you're on the side.
That is so scary because I know people.
But I didn't even go to sleep. I was like,
what is going on? I'm pretty sure they probably pay people there to like okay,
let me slide.
Well, you have fake documents. I think that's a lot easier than
not having documents.
Right, and then having to actually go ahead and like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like.
So that's how I crossed, and then I went and waited for my sister. At her house, she had a beautiful it's in Cali, it's in Cali, and it's like a mansion.
It's a mansion, I bet, because all the people pay her to do that.
She was rich.
So this is my question too. You and your sister did not travel together.
We did travel to Tijuana together, but okay, so 3 or 4 days, I want to say, or maybe a week, I had to wait for her on the other side.
Okay.
Because they already know, why are you going back to Mexico again? Like, so short time, getting another kid,
Oh, why couldn't you guys travel together? It was just...
So that's why, because it's not that we can... She just didn't want to risk everything on one trip, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, what if she get caught there,
Both of you guys, right?
Yeah, so she passed me, then she went back and got my sister, I want to say about a week. It didn't take that long. But I was already getting sad over there at her house. I was like, I miss my sister,
you miss your parents? Yeah. Were you able to talk to? Did you see your parents at that time?
No, we didn't see them because remember, so they drove us from Tijuana, Mexico to California, and my parents are all the way in Florida.
Okay.
So she's supposed to put us on a plane and have us fly to
But were you
Florida.
able to talk to your parents and all of that?
Yeah.
So you know you were safe.
Yeah. So at that time I was just...
You didn't get kidnapped.
I know.
Imagine. Gosh, I would be terrified. I bet your mom was freaking out.
Yeah. So then my sister came, and then when my sister came, she's like, "Oh, I'm here in the middle of the night. This is the middle of the night." She comes. I'm like, "Okay."
How exciting.
So the next day, we get into a flight. They hadn't even bought us underwear and everything,
New underwear and everything.
Yeah. So when we crossed, we already crossed the United States, and my parents are in Florida. Yeah, already waiting for us with my brother.
Girl, listen, I would drive up to her house and be like, I want to see my children.
For real.
And they just couldn't at that time.
Right, exactly.
That is so crazy. Well, they knew that you were safe.
Yeah. But within that week, it was just that flying from there to Florida. That's it.
Okay, and then you got from Cali to Florida, and then...
So from Cali to Florida, so I was 10 years old. I went to school here. I went to elementary.
Was it a culture shock when you got here at 10 years old?
Yeah, yeah. So
I was old,
I was a little person like this right here. Like when I was 10, I was a really skinny person. But when I got here, I remember the first Chinese restaurant. Chinese restaurant. That was ice cream. I never in my life had ice cream in my life.
Really? You never had Mexican ice cream?
Well, we did,
but Mexican ice cream.
It was shared. Like you have a pin like this,
and you
share with everybody, and they only give it to you when they want you to.
Right.
So you come here in a little machine, and then
able to afford it. Yeah.
Right.
So then you're over here eating unlimited ice cream.
10 ice cream. I swear to God, I kid you not. When I came here,
and let me tell you something.
Everything.
That happens a lot where we're from too in our countries because we don't have access to
nothing.
Food.
Like over there, they'll buy a portion. And that's it. Like if you didn't get any, we're gonna have to make it split.
Same thing too. When you have the little ice creams, everybody each gets a ball.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough, maybe you get to share it.
So it was very, very small, very skinny. But when I get here, I came here. It was.
Were you bullied? How were the people to you? How did you go into school not knowing the language, not knowing anybody, and just being like, hi?
So obviously for elementary, middle school, and high school, you don't need papers. For some reason they just don't ask you.
Yeah,
they ask you for an ID, and they made me an ID. And that's
because I'm sorry, let me backtrack. You got here and the papers that you had were fake, so you couldn't really.
Not even fake. It was just
non-existent.
It was just to cross. I was still back in Mexico, supposedly to the law.
For the law, you were still back in Mexico. So those papers were pretty much non-existent.
Right, no, the
so
ones that no, but then
so
here I could be myself because I'm not 18 years and I haven't committed a crime. So now, you know, that's...
So you didn't have a record, but at the same time, you didn't have a social security card. You didn't have anything. You didn't have
10 years old, obviously, you don't have much, you know what I mean? Regardless.
But you don't need it, but you still, at 10 years old, like, if, you know, like, to do taxes, your parents need your social security number to have health insurance.
And stuff like that, huh?
Yeah, so what did you do? Did you
But at that time, they were giving us, like, Medicare or something like that. We had, like...
Even though you didn't have insurance,
papers, we were able to because we were underage. And
okay.
Whatever. But, I went to school and then I graduated. They graduated me from 5th grade to the 6th grade.
Yeah.
So in the 5th grade, I did get bullied a lot.
For
a lot.
Did you beat anybody up?
No, I just feel like the girls kind of sense my sexuality and they love messing with me, you know?
Oh,
like I was a quiet girl, like
for being a lesbian?
With a little, what kind of hair is that?
Like
a
Dora
little mushroom, you know? Like I was just to myself, and I feel like because 3 girls, like I feel like in a way they had a crush on me, to be honest.
Oh, so they were bullying you because they liked you?
You know what I mean? Like there's some people, you know what I mean? When they do that, they bully you and then
because they like you.
But at the end of it all, it was over nothing. You know what I mean? They bully
for no reason.
They'll like take my hair and tie, and like make me follow. You know, and me sensitive over there that I don't know how.
Isel is very sensitive to begin with. So not even knowing the language, not even able to be like.
I was bullied. Like I feel bullied, and then and then so from the 5th grade, I went to 6th grade, which is middle school. Middle school, I don't remember it much. I just remember having a lot of
middle school did you go to?
And actually learned English in the half a year I was in 5th grade.
Oh,
so 5th grade year, all they did was teach me English.
Oh,
I would sit in class, had headphones, and just swap through like cards so I could learn. So, you know, I was, 5th grade, 6th grade.
So you just learned English
learned English in elementary school, and then they skipped me to the next grade, and then...
I feel like, too, in our countries, I feel like the school is so on point. I feel like where we're from, too, I feel like you are much, like, the education is a lot better than here.
Way more.
Especially the public school system here.
Yeah. So that's why whenever they kind of asked me a few things about school and stuff like that, I knew what it was. So that's why they decided me to go to the next level. Anyway, so 5th, all my school years. So I wasn't like a whole immigrant, like in the middle of like the school, like nobody. Obviously, they knew my name and I used my real name and everything. Everything was my real actual name.
So my thing with that school was it mostly white, mostly Spanish? What middle school or elementary school did you go to?
Belvedere.
Belvedere,
white people in Spanish, but
white and Spanish. Yeah, I'm sure, 10 years ago it wasn't as Hispanic as it is today.
Oh, no, definitely not.
But okay.
Yeah, most of the teachers and all of the teachers were white. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, until the age of I was 17. I graduated high school at the age of 17.
With your high school diploma.
With my high school diploma. Then after that, obviously for me was already new. Like I already knew, my parents already had explained to me and to us that, the fact that we don't have papers and we always have to own our things. Like everything that you do in this country is paid for always. Like that's how they brought us up till like 17, 18.
And what they mean by that is, you guys, when you don't have a social security here, that means you can't go to Best Buy and get a credit card. And basically what that means is that if you're an illegal immigrant, an immigrant not so much, but an illegal immigrant, it means that you cannot just apply for a Best Buy credit card and go to Best Buy.
And you don't have a social security.
Exactly.
You don't have a license.
You don't have an ID. You don't have a social security card. You don't have anything. So it's not like you can just pay for or apply for a credit card or any kind of debit, credit, anything like that. You can't even get a bank account.
Even if you had the money, you couldn't even get a car because they required like a license.
They require social security. Yeah, so you can't get a car, you can't get a driver's license. You're basically nobody here.
Literally.
So it's so crazy that you have to live here in this country kind of like in hiding and in secret because God forbid somebody finds out and tells on you, you get deported.
Yeah, that, and imagine you're driving, like let's say I'm 18 and I'm driving, I couldn't even drive, but if I was driving, I get pulled over. They decide to give me a ticket or arrest me or take me back to my country. So it wasn't like we are.
It depends too on the police officer.
Yeah, because they'll call immigration on you like so quick. But anyway, so by the age of 17.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to drive without a driver's license.
Right, exactly. So by the age of 17, I want to say, graduated. And then
I'm sorry to cut you off. So basically what that means is that if you do not have cash, you cannot buy anything. So she wanted an iPhone, hypothetically speaking, she had to pay for it cash.
Yeah, like,
she wanted a laptop, cash. Everything had to be in cash. She wanted to work, she couldn't work.
Because I didn't have a social security.
So what did your parents do? Because did they have social security? Did your parents have papers?
No. So they actually worked under the table for like as much time as I could remember.
So for the people that don't understand what under the table means, explain it to them.
So basically what it is you get employed by people who just pay you cash. You don't need a social security number or ID or nothing. You're just going to get paid 10 minimum wage. Minimum
the
wage.
minimum wage.
Yeah, so because they can do it. Because they...
Since they're paying you cash under the table, no records, they don't need your social, they don't need your name, they don't need any personal of your information. It's basically, hey, clean my house, here's $20 kind of thing. They don't have any of your personal information, so it's a lot easier for them to basically just do that.
Because they don't pay taxes on you, because, you know, paying us plus paying taxes, that's a whole,
Right, so it's basically paying you
no insurance, no
nothing.
No 401k, none of that.
Nothing.
It's just pocket that they're just having free work.
Literally, like, here's $5 an hour, clean my house. So, and it has to be all jobs too. Here's $5 an hour, mow my lawn, little things like that. All jobs on the side, basically.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And they lived off of that.
Yeah.
With 3 kids. So they lived off of that for what, 10 years?
Well,
8 years at least?
Well, I mean, we didn't get a job. My sister didn't get her first job till she was like 16.
And what was it?
It was she was a waiter.
And how?
A waiter.
Same thing?
Same thing, under the table.
Under the table?
Yeah, which means like again, she was only minimum wage and then tips. Like
minimum wage and waiter, which is like what, $3-4 an hour, something like that?
Plus tips, and she got good tips. But
So I have a question. How did your parents make ends meet? Because this has been going on for 10 years. Your parents don't have any